When was the last time you looked in the mirror after styling your hair and actually felt good about what you saw? If you are dealing with thin hair right now, and so many women over 60 are, that moment might feel like it has been a while. Maybe you have tried different products, different techniques, and nothing quite delivers what you are hoping for. Maybe somewhere along the way you quietly accepted that this is just how it is now. I want to gently push back on that today, because thin hair can absolutely be styled beautifully. And beyond styling, there are specific products that support gradual fullness over time. Today, we are covering both. You will leave here with practical techniques you can use this morning and a clear picture of what to look for when you are standing in the hair care aisle or shopping online. Before we go further, one important note. Some of what we will discuss touches on hair growth products and supplements. Nothing in this video is medical advice. I am not a doctor, and I am not here to diagnose or treat anything. These are styling tips and general product suggestions based on what tends to work well for women experiencing thin hair after 60. If you have concerns about significant hair loss, please speak with your doctor or a dermatologist. They can look at what is driving it and guide you properly. What we are doing today is purely practical, helping you look and feel your best with what you have right now, and supporting your hair health over time. Welcome to Style After 60, the channel that gives you real information, specific advice, and honest conversations every single week. Let us get into it. Why your hair changed, and why it is not your fault. You do not need a long biology lesson, but a little context helps everything else make sense. After menopause, the hormones that kept your hair in its active growing phase for long stretches of time, estrogen and progesterone, decline significantly. The result is that fewer hairs are actively growing at any given moment, and the ones that do grow are often finer in diameter than before. So you are frequently dealing with two things at once: fewer hairs overall, and each individual hair being physically thinner than it used to be. That is why the products and techniques that worked in your 40s might feel like they are doing absolutely nothing now. Your hair has genuinely changed, and it deserves a different approach. Gray and silver hair adds one more layer. It tends to be drier and more porous than pigmented hair, which means it absorbs moisture quickly, loses it quickly, and can appear flat and one-dimensional without the right care. That affects both your styling choices and your product choices, and we will come back to it. Knowing this does not change your hair overnight, but it does mean you can stop wondering what you are doing wrong. You are not doing anything wrong. You are simply working with hair that needs a more targeted approach. Step 1. Get the right cut first. Before any product or technique can do its job, you need a cut that is working with you rather than against you. Here is the core issue with long, thin hair: weight. When hair is long and thin, gravity pulls it flat against the scalp. There's no lift, no movement, no separation, just flat hair sitting heavily against your head, which actually makes scalp visibility more noticeable rather than less. The most flattering length for thin hair is between your jaw and your collarbone. Within that range, your hair is short enough that gravity is no longer winning, but long enough to still feel soft, feminine, and easy to style. When you visit your stylist, here is specifically what to ask for: a blunt or very slightly graduated perimeter. This means the ends are all cut to roughly the same length. It sounds counterintuitive, but a solid perimeter creates visual fullness. When you look at someone with what appears to be full hair, a lot of what you are reading is the solidity of the silhouette at the ends. A blunt edge creates that, even when overall density is modest. Subtle internal graduation, not heavy layers. Heavy layering removes density from the very places that create fullness. What you want instead is a soft, gentle graduation that creates movement without sacrificing that perimeter density. Point cutting at the ends. This is a technique where the stylist cuts into the ends at an angle rather than straight across. It softens the edge of each strand, creates natural movement, and catches light beautifully. Ask for this specifically, and ask them to avoid thinning shears on the lengths. Thinning shears remove density, which is the opposite of what you need. Slightly shorter pieces around the face. Not dramatic layers, just a gentle softness that frames the face and draws the eye upward. This creates the impression of lift at the crown and gives the whole look more energy. Step 2. Prep your hair before you even pick up the dryer. This step gets skipped constantly, and it makes a significant difference. After washing, blot your hair gently with your towel. Press and hold, never rub. Rubbing creates friction on fine, fragile strands and leads to breakage over time. Let your hair air for just 2 or 3 minutes until it is damp but not dripping. Then, before any heat, apply a root lifting spray or lightweight volumizing mousse only to your roots. Not the lengths, not the ends, just the roots, where lift needs to be built. The amount matters more than you might think. For mousse, use a coin-sized amount. For spray, a 2-second mist. That is genuinely enough. More product means more weight, and weight is the enemy of lift. This is one of those situations where less really does give you more.
Apply the product with your fingertips directly to the root area, massaging it in gently. This ensures it is where it needs to be, at the scalp, supporting lift, rather than coating the lengths and dragging them down. Step 3. Blow dry for lift, the exact technique. This is where most of the visual transformation happens, and it comes down entirely to direction. First, tip your head forward or to the side, whichever direction is the opposite of how your hair naturally falls. Start drying from this position. When you dry your hair in the direction of its natural fall, you reinforce flatness. Drying against that direction disrupts it and begins building lift from the root up. Second, use a medium round brush, not to curl the hair or flip the ends, just to lift. Place the brush under a section of hair at the root and lift it straight upward. Direct the airflow from your dryer upward over the section, not downward. Work in small sections, roughly 2 inches wide, across the entire head. Third, and this is the step most people skip entirely, after drying each section, hold it in the lifted position and wait for it to cool completely before you release it. This sounds small, but it changes everything. Heat reshapes the hair. Cooling locks that shape in. If you let go while the hair is still warm, it falls flat immediately. If you wait, the lift holds for hours. Fourth, once your entire head is dry, tip forward, give your hair a very gentle shake, and flip back up. This breaks up any over-controlled stiffness and creates the kind of natural movement that looks completely effortless, because it genuinely is. If this is useful so far, this is a great moment to subscribe to Style After 60. This is exactly the kind of conversation we have here every week. Specific, honest, and practical. Hit subscribe and join us. Step 4. Finish it properly. 2 products used correctly. Light hold flexible hairspray at the roots only. Lift a section of hair at the crown and spray just the root area, holding the can about 7 or 8 inches away. This locks in the lift without coating the lengths with stiff product. Do not spray all over. Full coverage hairspray weighs thin hair down and creates that stiff, helmet-like appearance that looks the opposite of natural. Texturizing spray through the mid-lengths and ends. This is the product that creates the visual impression of fullness. Mist it lightly into your palms, rub them together, and then scrunch it gently through the mid-lengths and ends of your hair. Never spray it directly onto the hair. That concentrates too much product in one spot. What you are creating is surface variation, small shifts in direction and texture that catch light differently and make the hair read as denser than it actually is. Step 5. One extra step for gray and silver hair. If your hair is gray, silver, or white, there is one additional step that makes a striking difference in how it looks and how it photographs. Gray hair tends to appear flat and slightly dull without tonal care, not because it is unhealthy, but because of its structural porosity. A purple toning shampoo used once or twice a week keeps silver bright, removes any yellowing, and gives gray hair that luminous platinum quality that photographs beautifully. Shimmer Lights and Joico Color Balance Purple Shampoo are both excellent options. If your gray has warm golden undertones, the champagne or honey gray tones avoid purple shampoos, which will neutralize that warmth. A clear or very lightly tinted formula works better for you. Now, the longer game. Products that support real fullness over time. A reminder before we continue. These are general suggestions, not medical prescriptions. Results vary, and some of these work better for certain people than others. Think of them as tools worth exploring, not guarantees.
Shampoos that actually help thin hair. Many moisturizing shampoos, well-intentioned as they are, contain heavy silicones that coat fine strands and make them limp and flat. For thin hair, you want a thickening or scalp-focused formula. Nioxin system kits, around $35 to $50 per kit. These come in different systems depending on your degree of thinning and include a shampoo, a scalp-focused conditioner, and a leave-in treatment. They have been clinically studied specifically for thinning hair and are widely recommended by stylists who work with mature clients. Many women notice a difference in thickness and manageability within 4 to 6 weeks. Pura Dior Anti-Thinning Shampoo, around $30 to $35. A botanically rich formula, gentle enough for daily use. It contains biotin, argan oil, and a blend of herbal extracts that support scalp health without stripping moisture. Popular among women over 60 who want something effective but not harsh. Kerastase Densifique Bane Densité, around $40 to $45. This one uses hyaluronic acid to plump the outer layer of each strand, making the hair feel physically thicker from the first use. The difference in texture is noticeable. For conditioner, apply it to the mid-lengths and ends only, never at the root. Conditioning agents at the scalp weigh down exactly where lift needs to live. Your scalp produces its own natural oils. The drier ends are where conditioner is actually needed. Scalp serums, the most important section most people skip. Your scalp is a living environment. The health of your follicles, the tiny structures under the scalp that produce each strand of hair, determines the quality and quantity of hair you grow. A congested, dry, or undernourished scalp cannot support its best possible output, regardless of what you put on the hair itself. Nioxin Scalp and Hair Leave-In Treatment, around $25 to $30. Applied directly to the scalp after washing, this leave-in supports follicle health and scalp circulation. Used consistently over several months, clinical studies have shown measurable improvement in hair density. It is not an overnight fix, but it is a genuinely effective one.
Kerastase Densifique Hair Density Serum, around $55 to $60. A hyaluronic acid-based scalp serum applied daily. It works at the follicle level to support thicker, healthier growth over time. Many women report noticeably more body and density after 3 to 4 months of consistent use. Vegamore Grow Hair Serum, around $52 to $58. A plant-based serum clinically studied in women experiencing hair thinning. It contains phytoactives that support follicle health and reduce shedding over time. It has become particularly well regarded among women over 50, and the results, while gradual, are genuine for many users. Minoxidil 5% foam for women, around $25 to $35 for a 2-month supply. This is the most clinically proven over-the-counter option for female pattern hair thinning. Applied directly to a dry scalp once daily, it works by extending the hair's active growing phase and supporting follicle activity. Results take time, typically 3 to 6 months before visible change, and it needs to be used consistently to maintain them. This one is worth a quick conversation with your doctor before you start, but for many women, it has made a meaningful and real difference. Supplements worth knowing about. Again, please read these as general information, not medical guidance. Your own health picture is unique, and a doctor or nutritionist is always the right person to speak with about supplementation. Nutrafol Women's Balance, around $79 to $88 per month. This supplement is specifically formulated for postmenopausal women, addressing the hormonal contributors to thinning that are particular to this stage of life. It contains a blend of clinically studied ingredients, including ashwagandha, saw palmetto, marine collagen, and biotin. Results require consistent use over 4 to 6 months, but it is one of the most credible options in this category and is frequently recommended by dermatologists.
General nutritional support. Deficiencies in vitamin D, iron, zinc, and omega-3 fatty acids are all associated with increased hair shedding in postmenopausal women. If you have not had your levels checked recently, it is worth asking your doctor about.
Sometimes the foundation of better hair health is simply addressing what your body is missing. Everyday products worth having. Living Proof Full Dry Volume and Texture Spray, around $30. One of the best midday refresh options available. Spray it into dry hair, scrunch lightly, and it revives root lift without adding heaviness or greasiness. Excellent for days 2 and 3. R Plus Co Balloon Dry Volume Spray, around $32. Apply to damp roots before blow drying for immediate lift that holds through the day. Very lightweight, no residue, no stiffness. Batiste Original Dry Shampoo, around $8 to $10. For occasional use between washes. Absorbs oil at the root and provides a quick boost of lift. Use sparingly. Frequent use creates scalp buildup that works against follicle health over time. If you have a deeper skin tone, look for the clear or translucent formula to avoid the white residue that standard dry shampoos can leave. Heat protectant. Always, every single time. Fine, thin hair is the most vulnerable to heat damage. Skipping heat protection causes cumulative breakage that compounds thinning over time. Chi 44 Iron Guard Thermal Protection Spray, around $15, and Tresemme Thermal Creations Heat Tamer Spray, around $8, are both lightweight enough that they will not weigh fine hair down, and they do their job reliably. What it all comes down to. If you have been dealing with thin hair for a while and you have tried things that have not worked, I want you to know that the frustration you feel is completely valid. Drop a comment below and tell me what you have tried, what has worked, and what you are still looking for. This community is one of the things I am most grateful for, and those conversations genuinely matter here.
Here is your simple summary. For immediate results, get a cut with a solid, blunt perimeter, subtle internal graduation, and point cut ends. Use a small amount of root lifting product at the roots only. Blow dry sections upward and let them cool before releasing. Finish with a light hold spray at the roots and a texturizing spray scrunched through the ends. For gradual improvement over time, swap your shampoo for a thickening formula. Incorporate a scalp serum. Vegamore, Kerastase Densifique, or Nioxin's leave-in treatment are all worth considering. Look into Nutrafol Women's Balance if hormonal factors feel relevant, and speak with your doctor about minoxidil if you want to explore the most clinically supported option. None of these are magic. All of them work, and used together consistently, they build on each other in a way that genuinely adds up over months. Here's what I want to leave you with. Thin hair does not mean less beautiful. It means different, and different has solutions. The women who feel most confident and radiant at this stage of life are not the ones who happen to have thick hair. They are the ones who have learned what works for them, who have stopped fighting what they cannot change, and who have invested just enough attention into what they can. That is all this is. A little knowledge, the right tools, and the decision that you are worth the effort of figuring it out. You are, completely. Subscribe to Style After 60 if you have not already. Share this with a friend who might need it, and I will see you in the next one. Style After 60, because the best years have a whole lot of style left in them.